Hi, and welcome to our latest episode of What's on the Horizon. I'm Lori Sharonbrock, and I'm here with Chris Schucker of Digital Horizons. You guys are in for a treat today. I see a whole bunch of fun stuff here on the table. What are these gadgets? What do you have?
So I thought I'd kind of demo a couple commonly used or neat things that I'm guessing a lot of people probably haven't heard of or seen, unless of course they've had something installed by us. But so yeah. So the first one this is a product called it's from a company called iPort, or it's
Okay.
Launchport. But basically what it is they come in two versions. So there's a tabletop base and a wall mount version. And then the other part is a sleeve. And this is an iPad. And they have a sleeve that goes around the iPad. And the really neat thing about it is the dock gives it a place to mount, right? So you can sit on the dock, it can rotate. But then the really cool part is it actually charges the iPad via inductance. So when you want to use the iPad, or maybe it just sits on the countertop and you use it like you normally would, through this metal interface on the back, when you dock it, which it's not going to make its little ping sound now because it's not plugged into the wall.
Sure.
But it charges the iPad. So it can sit here forever. It can sit on the wall-mounted version, and then it's always charged when you want to use it. Otherwise, you just use it and put it back, and it charges it.
That's awesome.
We love these. The reason the iPad is in here is because when we install our systems, often the iPad is used as the central point of control for everything.
Sure.
It might just be a Sonos audio system, or it might be like a Control 4 system, and then you use the Control 4 app on the iPad to run whatever is part of the house. But these are great because it protects the iPad, it charges the iPad, gives it kind of a home base to go to. You always know where you need to put it, and it's a super, super fun little gadget.
And I know, at least in my house too, trying to find a cord and a plug and a convenient place is always super annoying. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's really nice that it can sit, right out on a coffee table or, like you said, a wall-mounted version.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We like
All
those
right.
a lot. So
what's that guy?
So the next one is something that looks like a light. This is actually a speaker. So one of the growing categories, especially, we're in mid 2021 right now as we're recording this. We're just kind of working our way through COVID. We've obviously spent a lot of time in our homes, and the home is becoming more popular, or stuff in the house is becoming more popular. And so the outdoor category of our business for landscape audio and TVs and things like that has grown quite a bit. And the landscape audio portion is really cool because this is a speaker, and that you don't just do one of these. The reason these systems are really neat is there's often an array of these, usually 6, 8, 10, 12, obviously depends on how big the area is. But this gets put in your landscaping, and this guy has a stake. This will actually go into the ground, usually in the landscaping, and we'll blend it in with the plants and trees and shrubs. And when you have an array of these spread out, instead of having a pair of speakers on the outside of your house just blasting sound, this creates this nice smooth blanket of audio wherever you want it to be. And then it becomes a part of the environment rather than this annoyance of just this giant, cannon of sound on the house. So there's a series of these, again, quantity based on the size of the area. And then they make in-ground subwoofers to go with it as well.
Wow.
And so being that the speaker here is a little bit smaller, it's not as a full range of a sound, the subwoofer fills in where these kind of cut off and don't produce a lot of bass. The subwoofer fills in for bass. So this is awesome. These systems sound so cool. It's one of the most unique things that we do, and they're super fun.
I mean, that's super cool. We went on vacation this winter to a place down in Florida, and they had an outdoor TV.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. Like, you had to crank it.
Yeah.
Just to be able to hear it at the pool. And
Right.
so, of course, the closer you get to it, it's like
super annoying.
So crazy.
It's not
loud.
good for the electronics either to be operated that way.
I'm sure not. That would have been super helpful for a system like that. All right, what's the little square thing you got there?
So this is just another black box that we use. But this one's really neat and has really saved our clients' bacon a lot in the last probably 5 or 6 years since these types of things were introduced. But at its core, this is a surge protector,
Oh.
power distribution unit. But you can see this little network port on here.
Yeah.
This guy actually connects to a home network and thus the internet. And it's actually a smart surge protector.
Okay.
And it does a number of things. Number one of which, this is usually used to obviously protect equipment, but we'll usually plug in modems, routers, network switches, things like that.
Sure.
And it will actually perform auto rebooting. So the way it does that is because this guy's connected to the network, we program it to check typically websites or DNS servers that
Sure.
rarely go down, Google, Apple, things
Yes.
like that. And when it can't connect to those websites, it's programmed to think, hey, I probably have a device on the network that's locked up, modem, router, something like that, and it'll go through a process of automatically rebooting those devices. So at first we'll say, okay, reboot modem. It'll turn the outlet off, and thus turning the modem off. And then after however long we program it to check again, because modems take a little while to start up,
Sure.
it will then try the router or whatever outlets or combinations that we've tried. And the reason I say it saved bacon is when somebody has a problem with their network, usually it's because of a locked up modem or maybe a router. And by rebooting them, it solves it 9 times out of 10. And this guy does it automatically. Also, it allows people, it allows us to remotely log in and check things. We can switch outlets off. These come in all different shapes and sizes. This is the smallest one. They come in ones that have 12 and 18 outlets, like lots of control. It allows us to log in remotely, reboot things for customers. And then there's also an app that customers get that for themselves that allows them to manually reboot things. So if we have one of these in an equipment rack where all of the stuff is located, and let's say their cable box is plugged into this, instead of having to go to the rack, guess which power cord it is, and everything else, I'd like to think we install things neatly and cleanly and label things, but it's still kind of a challenging thing. They can open their app and see cable box living room, and they can hit a button and it will automatically reboot their cable box for them. So these things are great. It's been an absolute lifesaver.
Yeah.
Our service area is quite wide. I mean, we have most of our projects are within an hour or so.
Sure.
Sometimes we're an hour and a half, 2 hours. We even have projects in International Falls, Shakopee, long ways away. And a service call takes a lot of time. It's very costly. And when we have these installed, it eliminates the need for a lot of service calls and very quickly pays for itself. So these smart surge protectors have been fantastic.
Well, and I imagine too, like in this particular area in the Brainerd Lakes, people have a lot of second homes.
Sure.
You know, they themselves, like you said, if there's an app and they're in the cities, you know, they can check on things from there too. So that makes that really, really useful. So these were awesome. Are there any like gadgets on the horizon that you're hearing about or something that you're looking forward to
There's
seeing?
always something. Yeah. There's always something.
TVs.
There's always something.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, that was super fun. And if anybody wants something like this, they just call you up?
Yeah, just visit our website, digitalhorizonsmn.com. Probably have a link down below and just reach out to us.
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of these fun new gadgets. Always kind of fun to see what they can do. And thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode.